Client of mine is named Judy. She gets promoted 3 times in 5 years. She's feeling pretty good. Everything's going well. Then over the next 4 years, nothing. Doesn't know why. Confused. Doesn't make sense. Everything she's been told, all the performance reviews, the ratings she's got. So she's confused, doesn't make sense. But at the same time, and she sits there and says to herself, wait a minute, I'm so much better than those other people who got promoted. I have a stronger team. I have a larger team. I have more responsibility. What's going on? With this new promotion, she got to work with an executive coach. Each person at that level got that. So I began working with her. And the first thing we did, we spent time looking at, okay, what happened in the last 4 years? Why is there a discrepancy between what happened earlier in her career? And we realized the whole thing about self-promotion. She said, I let my work speak for itself. That's what I do. And when I let my work speak for itself, it worked out great for me. Then all of a sudden it stopped working. And no one told me that's not going to work anymore. Why didn't you tell me? I would have changed how I did it. And so we talked about that, and she got that and understood it. And so she started to apply some of the things we talked about today. She started to adjust her perception of the organization, ask how she was perceived. She started to promote more of her accomplishments and put herself out there more, and started to really get more visibility. And ultimately, what it resulted in is she started to show up at meetings and was much more decisive, clear. I asked her, I said, at the end of the engagement, I said, what was the most surprising thing that happened? She said, I have more confidence in who I am, I'm more decisive, and I feel a difference in how I'm showing up. And then about a month and a half later, I was surprised to hear from her after our coaching engagement. And she said, our CEO made a really big point about 3 months ago that it's all about innovation and new ideas for our company. And that all she wanted to see was innovation and new ideas. And Judy said, you know what, I'm going to run with this. So she met with colleagues, and for the next month, came up with some really innovative ideas. Then all of a sudden, there was an offsite, and this is the CEO. And Judy's like, I have this great idea, I want to share it with her. And had to get the gumption and the courage, and finally she walks up to the CEO and says, I just have these ideas I was thinking of, and she flushed them out and had a really good conversation. And the CEO said, thank you, that's exactly what I'm looking for, I really appreciate that. And Judy thought, great, I did it. I'm doing all the things that I worked on with the coaching, it's naturally happened. And she's telling me this whole story. And she says, here's the kicker. The next day, at the offsite, it was closing. There's over 200 senior leaders at this meeting. Judy's not even there. The CEO of the company says, Judy has some great ideas. Let me tell you about Judy's ideas on innovation for the company. And she's a model, and I want to see more of that from the rest of the employees. And I want to make sure you're doing what Judy's doing. Afterwards, all these senior executives, her phone was blowing up. She's like, what just happened? And like the CEO outed her. But it's really a good example of like it took initiative, it took gumption, it took an ability to have the insight to say, I'm going to run with this for the next month, and then I'm going to have the gumption to share it with her. And so it increased her visibility. People knew who she was.